Previously on the first episode of The Love of a Lycan. The mark awakens beneath your skin. The Alpha sees it. You've been found. The intruder steps through the glass.
It's time to return what's mine. Remember how he torn out your throat?
The arrow of fate finds you. Invader suppressed by your light, struggling forward in pain. The Alpha bleeds magic. He tries to pull you back. And from your mark, something is born. This time you will be stronger.
Later, in the training grounds, you stand alone. You didn't want to be here, but something inside you demanded it, an instinct, a push. You focus, you breathe. The wind answers. You move your hand, and heat blooms at your fingertips. No flames, not yet. But something is waking, and it terrifies you. Vale watches from a distance. He doesn't interfere, not this time. You push again, your thoughts spiraling back to the invader, to the secrets, to the power in your blood you didn't ask for. And something snaps. Heat rushes through you, not just emotional, elemental. The wind shrieks, pulling loose dirt into a cyclone around your body. A scream bursts from your throat, not fear, not pain, something older. Then it fades. You're on your knees, gasping, hair wild around your face. Vale is there in a blink, but he doesn't touch you. He kneels in front of you and waits. "I don't want this," you whisper. "But it's already yours," he says, "and they will come for it. For you." You look up at him, trembling. "Then what are you going to do?" His gaze is fierce. "Everything I have to." That night, you don't sleep. You stare at the ceiling of Vale's room, listening to his steady breathing and wondering how much of you is still you, and how much has already changed. You think of the way he held back, how he didn't force explanations. That restraint terrifies you more than the heat in your veins, because it means he's preparing for something bigger, and you're the one who has to face it. You turn toward him. He's awake. "Of course." "I need to know everything," you say. He nods. "Tomorrow." "No," you insist. "Now." There's a long pause. Then slowly he sits up. His voice is quieter than you've ever heard it. "You were never just human," he says. "Before you were born, before any of us existed like this, there was a woman of flame. She burned with power. They called her the Firebird. And when she died, her soul didn't leave. It waited." You feel the echo of that heat again in your chest. "You're telling me I'm her?" "No," he says. "You're her echo, her vessel, her choice." "Why me?" Vale's eyes soften. "Because she chose you." You look away, shaking. "I don't want to be anyone's choice." He leans closer. "But you are, and that means you have more power than anyone in this realm." "Then why do I feel so lost?" you whisper. "Because power doesn't come with clarity, it comes with chaos." You laugh, bitter and hollow. "That's comforting." "I'm not trying to comfort you," he says. "I'm trying to prepare you." His hand grazes your shoulder. "But I won't let anyone take you. Not the council, not the witches, not the ghosts of the past." Your voice breaks. "What if it's not them I need protecting from?" Vale's grip tightens. "Then I'll protect you from yourself." You don't speak, because deep down, you know he might have to. The next morning, the storm breaks. It isn't literal, no thunder, no lightning, but you feel it, a shift, in the air, in your bones. There are strangers in the courtyard. Their scent is wrong, too clean, too rehearsed. Council emissaries. Vale is already there, his posture coiled like a wolf ready to strike. You stand beside him. "Don't speak," he murmurs. "Let me." But you do speak, because this is your life now. "What do you want?" you ask. The man in front, the tallest, slickest, most calculated, smiles with all teeth. "We've come for what belongs to the realm." She's awakened. Your skin goes cold. Vale growls. "She belongs to no one. Then we'll take her by force." Before Vale can shift, you raise your hand. Flames flicker just for a second along your LM, enough to stop everything. Enough to warn. "I belong to myself," you say. The man's smile fades. "This isn't over," he says. He turns. They leave, and you fall to your knees, chest heaving. Vale is there again. His arms wrap around you before the fear catches up. "You were incredible," he says, but you don't feel incredible. You feel dangerous. You feel lost. And for the first time, you feel like maybe that's exactly what they were waiting for. You pause at the door, his arm around your waist, his grip firm yet trembling. The hallway is silent, the only sound the breath caught between your ribs. You look up at him, your eyes drawn to the sharp line of his jaw, the way his ocean blue gaze refuses to meet yours. He's staring at the doorknob like it might explode. You don't ask why, you just feel it's something wrong. The air hums with tension, and your instincts, always fragile but never wrong, buzz beneath your skin. You've spent most of your life being afraid. Of people, of things others couldn't see, of your own mind. So when his hand stays frozen on that handle, you don't need an explanation. You already know this night won't go the way it's supposed to. His silence says more than words could. And then, slowly, he turns the knob. The door creaks open, and the hallway floods with sound. A clatter. A growl. The snarl of something not quite human. You don't see what's there, not yet, but your heart is already in your throat. He steps forward, positioning himself like a wall in front of you. His shoulders tense, his muscles coil, and the quiet shift in his breathing tells you everything. Something dangerous is waiting. The corridor inside the safe house is bathed in dim yellow light, flickering like it's unsure whether to stay or go. The smell hits you first: blood, sweat, the sharp tang of magic. Not yours, not his, someone else's. You clutch the hem of his jacket, your fingers trembling. He doesn't speak, doesn't glance back. He just moves, pulling you with him into that space, like a storm sweeping through a quiet town. Then you see it. Claw marks slash across the wall. A trail of blood thin, but deliberate winds down the hall like a crimson thread. And at the end of that trail, a body slumps. You don't know him, but Vale does. You can feel it in the way he stops breathing. You whisper his name, but he doesn't react. He's still staring, rage slowly tightening across his spine. And that's when the growl returns. Not from Vale, from deeper in the house, low, hungry, mocking. Your fingers dig into his arm, and still, he doesn't flinch. The sound triggers something in him. His eyes flash silver. His wolf, the beast you only barely understand, stirs like a tidal wave held in place by sheer will. "Stay behind me," he finally murmurs. But it's not a request. He takes a step forward and the air changes, warmer, thicker. You hear your own heartbeat pounding, louder than the footsteps. Every light seems dimmer now, every corner hiding more shadows than it should. A second body, this one you recognize, one of the guards from earlier, dead. Eyes open, mouth frozen mid-scream. You want to look away. You can't. Vale's fury is a living thing now. You feel it like heat radiating off his skin. He crouches near the body, fingers brushing the bloodied collar, jaw clenched so tight you expect it to crack. He mutters something under his breath, words you don't understand. You ask softly, "What happened here?" But again, no answer. He's moving again, faster now, like a predator that's locked onto the scent. You keep up, barely, your legs shaky, your stomach lurching. You pass another room, ransacked, shattered glass, books torn from shelves, a chair lying sideways, one leg broken. The chaos is everywhere. This was supposed to be safe. Vale stops suddenly, and you almost bump into him. He holds out a hand. Still, listening. Then you hear it too, breathing, wet, labored, not far, behind that door. He throws it open. A girl no older than 16 sits against the wall, arms wrapped around her knees, blood smeared across her face. Her eyes widen when she sees him. "Alpha." Vale kneels beside her, his hands surprisingly gentle. "Who did this?" She flinches. He repeats, quieter, deadlier. "Who?" Her lips tremble. "Rogues. They came through the east wing, said they were looking for her." Her eyes dart toward you. You freeze. Vale follows her gaze and stiffens. His fingers curl into fists. "Did they touch her?" he asks, voice like thunder rolled in silk. The girl shakes her head. "They didn't get close, but they killed. They killed Marcus." Vale's silence is unbearable. You don't know who Marcus is, but from the pain in his eyes you can guess. He lifts the girl with surprising ease, lays her gently on a nearby couch, and turns back to you. "We're leaving. Now." You don't argue. You can't. Outside, the cold air slaps you awake. Night hangs heavy, the kind of night that presses against your skin and whispers of blood. Vale leads you to the SUV, his pace brutal. He doesn't look at you until the engine's roaring. "I'll keep you safe, he says. And even though his voice is calm, you hear what's behind it. "I failed tonight. I won't again." You sit in silence as the trees blur past, streetlights slicing through the dark like knife wounds. You glance at him, watching the muscle in his jaw work overtime. "You're angry," you whisper. He doesn't deny it. "I'm angry too." And for the first time since the door opened, his gaze finally meets yours. Blue, furious, protective. He reaches across the console, finds your hand, and holds it. Your heart pounds as Vale's steps fall into rhythm with yours, every muscle in his body braced for conflict. He holds you close, his hand firm at your waist, anchoring you as the storm outside brews thicker than night. The tension in the air is suffocating shouts from downstairs, the staccato flashes of camera lights, the reek of perfume, sweat, and fear blending into one. You try not to recoil as dozens of unfamiliar faces scream his name, their voices colliding into a wall of noise. You clutch the front of his shirt instinctively, feeling the taut fabric stretch with each flex of his body. His fingers twitch slightly. He's holding back. You can feel it. Something's off. Vale doesn't speak aloud. Instead, his voice seeps directly into your mind. Hako's behind this. His tone is clipped, dangerously calm. You don't know who Hako is, but the way Vale's jaw tightens, how his fingers graze your hip like a silent promise, it makes your skin hum. Raphael and Caleb flank you like shadows, the tension in their stances unmistakable. Their eyes scan the lobby, watching every flicker of movement, every raised camera and journalist, trying to pierce through this fortress of wolves. Don't look down, Vale murmurs, not with words, but with a sense, a tug in your core. Look at me. So you do. His gaze arrests you, pale blue burning into your soul, and for a moment, the world drops away. The shouting blurs, the hallway vanishes, it's just him and the pull you can't explain. Then it crashes back. Security closes ranks around you as Vale pushes forward, ignoring the waves of press crashing at the walls of the pack house. The elevator opens. You step in, shielded by his presence. When the doors close, you let out the breath you didn't know you'd been holding, but the unease doesn't fade. Who is Hako? You whisper finally, your voice soft, unsure if it even matters. Vale's eyes shift slightly, the calm before a storm. An agitator. He knows how to fan flames. You feel the tremor in the way he says it, not fury, but underneath it, something worse. Worry, not for himself, for you. The elevator dings, and when the doors open again, it's chaos. The night erupts. Blood stains the air before it stains the walls. You didn't hear the first scream, only the silence that followed. Then the bang. Then the wet, dull thud. Vale moves so fast the air around him whips. Raphael shouts something. Caleb shifts fur, muscle, fangs. You stumble back, eyes wide, heart crashing like thunder. Downstairs, one of the pack's enforcers has collapsed, blood gurgling from his throat. You smell it metallic, warm, sickening. Someone has broken the line. Vale shouts a name, but it's drowned in the roar of shifting forms. The pack is transforming wolves bearing teeth, claws extending, muscles snapping bones into new configurations. The lobby becomes a battlefield in seconds. You don't move, you can't. But Vale is already there, shielding you with his body, his hands crackling with a power you've never seen before. Not just brute strength, not just rage. This is dominance, ancient and absolute. It presses against your chest like an invisible wall. He turns, eyes glowing. Stay behind me. And then he's gone leaping into the fray. Shaik tiwis. Everything is blurred. The screams, the growls, the shrieking of glass as bodies slam into windows. You see Raphael hurl a man across the room, his claws coated in red. Caleb barrels through a group of invaders, jaws locked on a shoulder. It's not a fight. It's a purge. But something's wrong. In the middle of the chaos, you spot a figure moving against the tide, unshaken, untouched. A man in a tailored coat, walking calmly through the blood. He doesn't even flinch as a body falls at his feet. His eyes lock onto you. You freeze. He smiles. Not warm, not amused, but like someone who has finally found the one thing they've been hunting. You back away, your legs weak, your hands clutching the wall. Where's Vale? A growl erupts behind you. You spin. But it's not Vale. It's a wolf. Black fur, eyes the color of copper, snarling, stalking toward you. You scream before you even realize it, and then he's there. Vale hits the wolf like lightning. No warning, just force. They crash into the wall, claws tearing, teeth snapping. Blood spatters the floor. Vale's voice explodes in your head. Run. But you don't. You reach for him instead. Sss. Hands grab you, not Vale's. Someone's dragging you back, one of the guards maybe. Or Raphael. You don't know. You only know you're being pulled, your body resisting every inch of the way. Let me go, you cry. He needs me. No, a voice grunts behind you. You need to survive. And then the blast comes. It's not a bomb, not quite, but it feels like one. A pulse of energy that shakes the building to its core. Lights burst. Windows shatter. Your ears ring. Your knees hit the floor. You look up and the black-furred wolf is gone. Vale is crouched over you, breathing hard, blood dripping down his cheek. He touches your face with trembling fingers, eyes searching for wounds. "I told you to run," he growls. "And I didn't," you whisper back. His face contorts, not in anger, but in something more dangerous fear. You don't understand until he says, "They weren't after me, they were after you." And suddenly, it's not just chaos anymore, it's war. You barely stir when the hum of tires on asphalt fades into the distant roar of jet engines. You're wrapped in warmth, cradled in arms that feel impossibly steady. When you finally blink awake, your surroundings blur soft leather, polished metal, and the weightless float of being lifted. The first thing you see is him, Vale. His smile is quiet, proud, and undeniably possessive. He doesn't speak right away. Instead, he kisses your forehead, soft and sure, and tells you that you're safe, that he's taking you somewhere far from the chaos. Somewhere only the two of you can breathe. The jet is sleek, cold on the outside, but inside, it's a cocoon built around you. Donovan Enterprises glints in silver script along the fuselage, but it's his arms that you trust. He carries you into a private bedroom nestled within the plane, the lights dimmed low. He tucks the blanket beneath your chin, fingers lingering for a heartbeat longer than they should, and tells you to rest. And somehow, you do. When you slip into dreams again, he leaves you, but not far. Outside the door, Caleb stands stiffly, arms crossed. Vale's voice slices through the quiet like a blade. "Alpha, everyone's waiting." Vale's answer is low. "Dangerous." "You wait here." Caleb hesitates. He knows better than to argue, especially when Vale's beast is riding so close to the surface. The warning comes with a shadow of a threat. "My beast won't like your scent on her. Stay put." Caleb nods once, jaw clenched. He presses himself back against the door like the weight of the Alpha's fury might burn through the metal if he's not careful. Below, on the runway, they're already in formation. Betas, enforcers, warriors. Every one of them armed not just with claws, but with a hunger to tear something or someone apart. They can smell it in the air. Rage, blood, retribution. Vale descends into their midst, a cold wind following in his wake. The moment his boots touch the tarmac, silence spreads like frost over glass. He doesn't speak. He doesn't have to. The order was already given: hunt the one who dared touch what's his. They part for him as if moved by instinct alone. And then they scatter. You dream of claws and whispers, a shadow in your mind you can't quite name. But far away from the battlefield, a different storm brews. In the private jet, rain sleeps. But in the mountains where Donovan lands, stretch out beyond sight, something old stirs. Something watching, waiting. Every time your body moves in sleep, something ancient pulses in your veins. Vale returns before dawn breaks. Blood on his knuckles, silence in his step. He watches you for a long time, doesn't speak, just watches. As if afraid that if he blinks, you'll disappear. You don't. And when your eyes flutter open again, you feel it, his presence wrapped around you like armor. "Where are we?" you ask, voice small, raw. "Home," he says. But even you can hear the lie in it. You don't stir as you're carried onto the jet, but your senses catch whispers of motion wind brushing against your cheek, a shift in air pressure, the subtle scent of Vale all around you. It's only when the engine hums to life that your eyes flutter open. Your vision blurs for a moment before it lands on his face. His voice is the first thing you understand. Calm, steady, grounding. "We're heading home," he says softly, brushing hair from your brow. "Rest. You're safe now." You nod faintly, trusting him despite the chaos still echoing in your bones. He settles you into the private bedroom tucked within the jet. The blankets come up to your chin, his hand lingering against your forehead. Then his footsteps vanish, the door clicking closed behind him. Outside, the night seethes with restrained fury. Vale stands before the warriors of the Blue Moon Pack, his power pressing down like a storm about to snap. His eyes are dark, wild and alpha who's tasted blood and hasn't had nearly enough. The Lycans fall silent. Not a breath, not a blink. No one dares. You aren't awake to see the fear ripple through them, but somewhere deep in your slumbering body, the bond registers his anger. Your name hovers at the edge of Vale's thoughts, and that name becomes the spark that ignites what happens next. He walks into the circle of warriors like a shadow made flesh. Xavier, the alpha of Blue Moon, steps forward, but too late. The moment their eyes lock, the air fractures. Vale doesn't speak. His expression is colder than steel. Xavier bows his head slightly in a show of respect, but his neck stiffens. The other alphas flinch when Vale releases a growl, low and visceral. "You touched what's mine," he says. The declaration is quiet, but its weight breaks like thunder across the tarmac. Xavier's mouth opens to protest, but he never finishes. Vale moves, fast and brutal. His hand slams into Xavier's chest, sending the alpha skidding back across the concrete like a rag doll. Blood sprays in the air. The Lycans tense but don't interfere. No one moves when Vale steps forward again, shadows clinging to him like armor. "You let them draw her blood." Xavier coughs, his hand to his ribs, eyes wide with disbelief. "I didn't order crew." But Vale already knows the truth. His eyes narrow, locking onto the beta behind Xavier. Nervous, shivering, one foot already shifting back. That's the one who did it. You. Vale's voice slices through the night. The beta drops to one knee. I was just following orders." Vale doesn't wait for the lie to finish. His fist crashes down, bone meeting bone, and the beta crumples into unconsciousness. Inside the jet, you flinch in your sleep. A jolt tears through your connection to him. You don't understand the cause, but your soul lurches. Outside, Vale's control frays with every second he thinks of you lying unconscious, scent marked by other hands. Xavier snarls, half risen, eyes glowing. "She's not your Luna," he spits, and that's when Vale's wolf answers. Fur rips from flesh, bones shift. In the blink of an eye, the Supreme Alpha stands in his true form, massive, silver-black, glowing with fury. The warriors fall to one knee. Even those from Xavier's pack lower their heads, the weight of Vale's dominance pressing into their skulls. Except Xavier. Xavier shifts too, pushing past pain and reason. His form is leaner, grayer, more agile, but he's outmatched from the start. Their bodies collide. The sound is monstrous. Claws slice the air, teeth snap, muscles ripple beneath fur. Vale doesn't just attack, he dismantles. For every swipe Xavier lands, Vale returns fivefold. You jolt upright in the jet, heart racing, sweat clinging to your skin. The bond screams through you. Something's wrong. You stumble toward the cabin door, each step heavy with dread. "Don't," Caleb says, rushing to block you. He's handling something. You don't care. You shove past him. Outside, the runway is soaked in moonlight and blood. Xavier collapses, panting, his body torn and broken. Vale shifts back, steam rising from his skin. His eyes never leave Xavier. "You questioned my claim," he says. "Now everyone knows the truth." He turns away from the ruin that used to be an alpha. You're already there, standing just outside the jet, eyes wide with shock and confusion. Blood clings to Vale's chest, but his gaze softens the second it meets yours. The fury fades. Only you remain. "I'm sorry," he whispers, voice raw. "I couldn't let them question what you mean to me." You don't answer. You walk to him slowly, like stepping into the aftermath of a storm. When your hand touches his skin, something inside him finally calms. You wake in silence, the world around you unnaturally still, like breath held before a scream. The surface beneath you isn't stone, nor soil. It's soft, almost too soft and cold. The scent of iron clings to your nostrils, thick and unsettling. Your lashes twitch open, and the ceiling above gleams faintly in the darkness. This isn't the forest. This isn't your room. It's somewhere in between. Somewhere unknown. Then it hits you, the memory. The blood, the voice, the explosion of energy that fractured the night. You jerk upright with a gasp, but your body rebels. Pain slices through your shoulder, your ribs, your spine. You fall back with a cry, muffled by the plush surface beneath you. You aren't alone. There's someone else here. You can feel it, heat and tension pressing against the air like a coiled beast. Then the scent hits you again. Not iron. Him. Vale. He's seated at the far end of the room, back toward you, a shadow carved from something feral. His shirt hangs off one shoulder, soaked in crimson. His bare back rises and falls, the rhythm mechanical too measured. The muscles along his spine twitch, as if restrained. You don't need to see his face to know he's struggling. He hasn't moved since you woke. He hasn't looked at you. But he knows. You're awake. His voice is gravel wrapped in guilt. You try to speak, but your throat burns. He turns finally, and the sight of him steals whatever words you had left. His eyes are wild, burning amber with threads of black laced through the iris. Blood streaks his neck, his arms. You don't know how much of it is his. You don't know how much of it is yours. What happened? Your voice is hoarse, barely more than a whisper. I lost control. He says it like a confession, like a curse. His fists clench at his sides. I hurt you. You want to deny it, to tell him it's not his fault, but your body answers for you. Every inch of you aches. Not broken, but bruised. You were caught in the storm that was him. Vale rises and approaches slowly, like he's afraid of himself. You see it now, the war inside him. Not just anger, fear, not for himself, but for what he might do to you. He kneels beside you, not touching, just watching. They said you'd wake. I didn't believe them. Your brow furrows. Who? Ragnar. And the witch. The words are weighted. You remember flashes, burning eyes, chanting in the dark, a hand pressed to your forehead. You'd slipped into unconsciousness with the taste of power still on your tongue. She used ancient magic, Vale says, tethered you to your soul before you could slip away. You blink slowly, your mind swimming. Why? Because I asked her to, he answers. Because I begged. Silence stretches between you, a truth neither of you knows how to confront. The rage inside him, what you witnessed, it wasn't just instinct. It was deeper, older, twisted by pain and guilt, and it almost destroyed you. Vale exhales shakily. I won't let that happen again. You study him, the hardness in his jaw, the tremble in his hand. Then don't push me away. His gaze snaps to yours. You think distance will keep me safe, you whisper. But it only hurts more. Something cracks in his expression. He leans forward, his forehead brushing yours, breath warm and shaky. I am not a good man, he murmurs. You've seen what I am. I've seen what you hide, you answer, voice steady. But I'm still here. His eyes close, and for a moment the storm subsides. But outside this fragile peace, the world shifts. The council has been warned. The attack wasn't random, it was staged. There's talk of rebellion, whispers of betrayal among the packs. And in the woods, eyes still watch from the shadows, their allegiance uncertain. You're not just a girl who stumbled into a world of wolves. You're a key, a threat, a symbol, and everyone wants to control what you become. You feel the subtle shift in motion before your eyes even open, the hum beneath your seat, the sudden deceleration it tells you the plane has touched down. Your stomach knots reflexively, not from fear, but from anticipation. The wheels kiss the runway, and a low mechanical exhale vibrates through the fuselage. The Alpha is already standing, towering near the exit, casting a long shadow down the narrow aisle. His presence is impossible to ignore. When he glances back, those silver-blue eyes meet yours, and something wordless passes between you. Command, reassurance, claim. You rise slowly, legs stiff from hours of flight, and follow him toward the open hatch. The moment you descend the stairs, warm sunlight floods your face. Too bright, too sudden. You lower the baseball cap on your head and tug the borrowed jacket tighter around you. It's still the same one, black, oversized, protective, like a lingering piece of the storm you survived. The runway is empty, eerily pristine. The private airstrip is cleared. A dozen sleek black cars wait in formation beyond the tarmac. Around you, warriors move like shadows, forming a perimeter, ever alert. Raphael walks beside Vale, discussing something in low, clipped tones. Caleb trails behind with the ease of a watchdog who never sleeps. But it's his hand that anchors you. Vale never lets go, not even for a moment. His fingers rest at your hip, guiding your every step. When your pace lags, he slows. When you falter, he steadies you without a word. You match his stride, your body adjusting to his rhythm, even as your mind struggles to process the pace of your new reality. It's strange being outside, breathing open air without dread curling in your gut. For the first time in what feels like forever, no creature stalks your steps. No whispers claw at your sanity. You should feel relief, freedom. But your senses are on high alert, your body braced for a threat that doesn't come. The warriors open the car door, and Vale ushers you in. The moment you sit, the door shuts with a soft finality, cocooning you both inside. Silence. Then, his arm slips around your shoulder. You want to resist to maintain some barrier, but it crumbles the second your body relaxes against his. The warmth of him, the quiet tension humming through his muscles, the barely leashed control, it wraps around you like armor. You hate how safe it feels. He doesn't speak. He doesn't have to. The convoy begins to move. Beyond the tinted windows, the city disappears, swallowed by woods and winding roads. You don't ask where you're going. You don't need to. He's bringing you home. But what is home, really? You press your forehead to the window, watching the scenery blur past. The tension in your chest refuses to loosen. Every breath feels heavier, every heartbeat louder. You don't know if you're fleeing something or heading straight into it. Eventually, the trees break, revealing towering iron gates. They swing open at your arrival, controlled by unseen hands. The car glides through, climbing a winding driveway that cuts through forest and stone, and then you see it, the house. No, not a house. A fortress of glass and stone, carved into the mountainside like a relic of ancient royalty. Its sleek lines glow in the sunlight, but there's something primal about it. Unapologetically powerful. A place built to protect, or imprison. The vehicle stops. Vale steps out first, circling to your side and offering his hand. You hesitate. It's not fear. It's the weight of the unknown pressing down on your chest. But his eyes meet yours, steady and unyielding, and you take it. The moment your feet hit the earth, the wind shifts. The scent of pine and moss floods your lungs, and beneath it, something warmer, familiar, home. His home. Inside, the halls are wide, echoing with polished stone and dark wood. Everything is pristine, intimidatingly elegant. But the moment your shoes touch the floor, a soft heat rises from beneath the tiles. Of course, he'd think of that. He's always thinking of you. You hate how that makes your throat tighten. Maids appear, silent and efficient, but their eyes are careful not to linger. Still, you feel it, the undercurrent of curiosity, the whispers barely restrained behind polite nods. You're not just a guest, you're something else, something that shakes the order of things. Vale leads you past the main rooms, down a private corridor that curves like a spine deeper into the mountain. He opens a door. You expect opulence, but instead, warmth. A room washed in sunlight, with a soft couch, thick rugs, and a bed big enough to drown in. A sanctuary, not a throne. Your breath catches. You shouldn't like it. You shouldn't feel relief pooling in your stomach like warm water. But you do. Vale steps behind you, brushing a hand along your shoulder as he passes. If you need anything, his voice rumbles, low and near your ear. Call me. And then he's gone. You don't even hear the door shut. You exhale shakily, pressing your palms to your face. What the hell is happening to you? You sit on the edge of the bed, sinking slightly into the downy surface, and suddenly the weight of everything crashes over you. The pain, the fear, the hunger, the way his presence worms under your skin like a fever. You curl your knees to your chest, hiding your face in your arms. You should feel safe. You should feel grateful. But you're not sure what you feel. Only that something inside you is shifting, and you can't stop it anymore. You keep your gaze fixed outside the window as the city lights blur behind you, swallowed gradually by the pine forest that stretches endlessly ahead. The hum of the engine is the only sound in the stillness, and each mile carries you deeper into unfamiliar territory. The road narrows, cars grow fewer, civilization thins until it disappears entirely. It feels like slipping into a different world, one untouched by concrete or chaos. Your heart thrums with quiet tension, the silence inside the car as thick as the trees outside. Vale says nothing, but you can feel his presence beside you, calm and unreadable. You don't ask where you're going. Part of you wants to believe it doesn't matter so long as he's there. But another part of you, the one that remembers fear and captivity, clutches tighter to your instincts. Then, finally, the woods break open. The first signs of life are subtle. A narrow street winding into a village, cozy homes with sloped roofs, warm lights flickering behind windows. The car slows as you pass a coffee shop, a bakery with its door slightly ajar, the scent of yeast and butter wafting into the fading light. People stroll the sidewalks, children chase each other with laughter, and someone waves as your convoy moves past. It's normal. Unbelievably so. This is Raven Village, Vale says, his voice low, as if he's speaking a sacred truth. It's where you'll stay. You don't reply, still mesmerized. The village looks like something from a forgotten dream, too peaceful, too whole. You don't know whether to feel safe or suspicious. The car turns down a side path, lined with lanterns, ascending toward a secluded area atop a hill. And then you see it. A sprawling house nestled among trees, its structure elegant yet strong, windows glowing like quiet sentinels. The kind of place you'd expect to see in books, not live in. As the car stops, Vale steps out and circles around to your side. His hand reaches for you, not forcefully, but as a silent offer. You hesitate, then place your palm into his. The warmth surprises you. Inside, the house is just as inviting. High ceilings, polished wood floors. The faint smell of lavender and something deeper, earth, smoke, power. You pause in the doorway, unsure if you're allowed to enter. He doesn't push. Instead, he stands behind you and waits. You step forward. The light is dim but welcoming, casting shadows that dance across thick rugs and furniture carved with subtle markings. There's a fire already lit in the hearth, and for a moment, you feel the chill in your bones begin to ease. "I had it prepared," he says quietly, eyes scanning your face. "For you." You turn, searching for sarcasm or dominance in his tone, but it's absent. Only sincerity remains. It makes you uncomfortable. "I don't need all this," you murmur. "You do," he replies simply. "You've been cold for too long." You don't answer. You can't. He gestures to the hallway. Your room is upstairs. The stairs creak under your weight as you ascend, every step echoing too loud in your ears. You pass portraits of people you don't recognize, strong, regal faces with golden eyes and straight backs. Wolves in human skin. When you reach the top, he leads you to the last door. The room is large but not intimidating. Soft colors, a wide bed, a window facing the trees. The sheets look untouched, yet the room feels lived in, familiar somehow. You sit on the edge of the bed and exhale. He stands in the doorway, watching not with possession, but something harder to name, like protection dressed as patience. "I'll leave you to rest," he says. You nod. But as he turns, something grips your chest. "Why are you doing this?" you ask, not entirely sure what you mean. "All of it? The protection, the comfort, the silence?" He pauses. "Because it's what you need," he says, "and because I can." The door clicks softly as he leaves. You lie back, letting the ceiling blur above you. You want to believe in the safety of this place, of him, but your body remembers chains, your mind remembers cages, and still your heart whispers a different memory. Of him, of heat, of hunger, of how the world quiets when he looks at you. That night, you dream of fire and fur, of a howl split between agony and desire. You wake before dawn, heart racing, hand clutching your chest as if to hold yourself together. Downstairs, the house is silent, but you can feel him. The weight of his presence tucked somewhere inside the stillness, like the moon tucked inside the clouds. You move to the window. Outside, the sky is bleeding pink. Raven Village is still sleeping, and yet, something in you has already awakened. You step out of the elevator with him, your hand enclosed tightly in his. 9 floors above the chaos of the world, this place feels like it belongs to no one but you. The moment the doors slide open, light floods your vision, white and gold everywhere, sunlight spilling through tall windows that stretch across every wall. The top floor is his domain, but he offers it to you as if it's always been meant for you. His fingers slide through your hair, playing with soft strands absent-mindedly. His mind seems distant, his gaze clouded, like he's communicating silently with someone far away. Yet his grip doesn't loosen. You inhale, and the scent of pine and glass and faint citrus welcomes you. Outside, tall pine trees sway in a breeze you can't hear. Birds chirp faintly through the window. Its serenity so pure, it steals your breath. You pause just inside the threshold, the warmth of the sun brushing across your face. For a second, you almost believe this could be peace. He sees the light in your eyes and asks softly, "Do you like it?" You nod, barely trusting your voice. The room looks like it belongs in a painting, marble floors, crystal vases, shadows and sunlight dancing across gold-tinted furniture. You've never seen luxury feel this warm. He doesn't ask before guiding you to the couch. You feel his strength even in that small movement, and yet there's no pressure, no command, only this quiet expectation that you will follow. And you do. The couch is impossibly soft beneath you, your body sinking into its embrace. You don't realize how exhausted you are until you're seated, muscles uncoiling like a spring slowly released. He kneels before you, his gaze burning into yours. "You belong here," he says. You want to ask what he means, but the words die in your throat. His hand lifts, warm against your cheek, and his thumb brushes under your eye, as if clearing a tear that hasn't yet fallen. "I won't let them touch you," he murmurs. You believe him. Not because he says it, but because every part of his presence screams it. Still, a flicker of unease curls in your stomach. You don't know who they are, who he fights for or against, but you know there are things he hasn't told you. Things pulsing beneath the surface. You remember the pain in his eyes when he held you back in the woods, the fury in his voice when he threatened others just to protect you. Whatever he's shielding you from, it's something even he dreads. He moves beside you, pulling you gently until you're leaning against him. Your head rests against his shoulder, and the steady thump of his heart is like a drum in your ear, strong, unshakable. "You don't have to be afraid anymore," he says, and yet you are. You don't know how to stop being afraid, not of him, but of what it means to feel safe with someone like him. You glance around the room again. A fireplace stands silent in the far corner, shelves lined with books, a piano that looks untouched but not unloved. This is his sanctuary. And now, it's yours too. But not everything can stay untouched. A shadow passes behind his eyes, and he pulls away just slightly, like he's shielding something again. You catch it the way his jaw tightens, the way his hands ball into fists at his sides before he relaxes them. "You've been too quiet," he finally says. You shrug. What can you say? That you feel like you're drowning in something you can't name? That the pull you feel toward him is terrifying and addictive all at once? He rises, moves to the window. His back is to you now, broad shoulders tense beneath the crisp white of his shirt. Sunlight paints him in gold, but his stance is all steel. "There are things I have to tell you," he says without turning around. "But I don't want to scare you." The silence between you stretches, fragile and taut. You want to say it's okay, that you can handle it, but you don't know if that's true. So you wait. After a long breath, he turns, walks slowly back to you, drops to one knee again. "My world is not kind," he says. "And being part of it means giving up the illusion of safety. You already know this. You've felt it every moment since you met him. The moment your eyes met his, your world began to shift, and there's no going back. But instead of running, you reach for him. His hand finds yours again, and this time he doesn't let go. He holds it with reverence, as if you're something precious, something he's not used to touching. And then, quietly, "I will burn the world if it tries to take you from me." You don't flinch. You don't pull away. Because deep down, some wild part of you believes he means it. You don't know what to feel. Not exactly. The warmth in your chest is foreign, a kind of safe heat that lingers where his touch was. His words still echo in your ears, almost like a confession, but not quite. Not the kind you were taught to expect. Not the ones you've heard in books or seen in dreams, but real. Raw. Vale's presence presses against you not physically, not yet, but like a weight in your thoughts, in your ribs, where your breath comes fast. You lower your gaze, trying to hide the trembling of your lips. Your fingers clench tightly around the blanket. You don't stop him when he leans close. When he presses a kiss to your forehead, it doesn't make you flinch. Instead, it settles something inside you, as if you'd been waiting, aching for something soft like that. His fingertips trail down your cheek, lingering near your jaw. You don't turn away. You don't push him back, because somehow his nearness makes you feel less alone, less breakable. And for the first time, being touched doesn't mean being taken. The room falls into silence, except for the rhythm of your breathing, his fingers gently brushing away the strands of your hair. Why? You type it quickly on the iPad, showing it to him. The question is simple, but you know it's everything. Why you? Why now? Why does this feel so impossibly real when you've barely begun to understand any of it? Vale's eyes soften, like he's seeing past your silence and into the center of your storm. He leans back, propping himself against the headboard of the bed, then gently pulls you with him. You tense for a second, startled, but he just tucks you against his chest. No pressure, no demand, just warmth, and a heartbeat that you can hear through his shirt. Strong, steady, unshakable. You find yourself curling into it, not because you have to, because your body is beginning to remember what safety might feel like. Your hand, without thought, clutches the front of his shirt. The fabric is soft. His scent is sharper up-close pine, musk. Something wild beneath it. He lets out a breath and strokes your hair, smoothing the tangles with infinite care, as though every strand deserves its own gentleness. "We Lycans. We value things differently," he says quietly, voice deep against your ear. "When we meet the one we're meant for, we know." You flinch slightly at the final word. Meant. It's too much. Too sudden. Too heavy. His hand doesn't stop moving, though. It keeps brushing through your hair like waves against a shore, steadying you. You pull the iPad closer again and type, fingers trembling. "You don't even know me!" The words sit heavy on the screen. You angle it toward him and wait. "I don't need to," he replies softly. "Not the way humans do. It's not about knowing your favorite color or what books you like. It's deeper, older." You shake your head, overwhelmed. He's not angry, not even impatient. He reads the fear in your silence, in the way your body tenses even as you stay curled against him. "I know this is a lot," he says, pulling the blanket up around you both, "but I'll wait, as long as it takes." You feel your heart stutter, a pause, then a harder beat. He'll wait? Nobody's ever waited before. Later, the room is bathed in the soft glow of the bedside lamp. You're still in his arms, and even though every alarm in your mind should be screaming, you feel at peace. His warmth seeps into your bones. His scent lingers on your skin. You type again. Why me? Vale lowers his gaze, as though weighing the answer carefully. His hand pauses at your shoulder. Because when I saw you, everything inside me stilled. The beast, the chaos, the instincts, all of it. You calmed it without saying a word. You belong with me, Rain, even if you don't believe it yet. You stare at him, trying to read between the lines. There's no manipulation in his eyes, no pressure, just belief, fierce and quiet. You shake your head, unsure of how to hold something that intense. You tap another question. What if I'm broken? That, he doesn't answer with words. He pulls you closer, tighter, one hand cupping the back of your head. Then I'll protect every broken piece, he murmurs. You close your eyes. The tears threaten, but they don't fall. Not yet. Eventually, sleep threatens to pull you under, but you fight it. There's something else, a pressure in the air, not from him, from yourself. You type one more thing, almost too fast, as if afraid you'll change your mind. I'm scared. Vale doesn't move for a moment, then he nods. So am I. Your breath catches. You hadn't expected that? You hadn't expected him to admit it? He leans his forehead against yours. But I'm more scared of losing you. This time you don't reply. There's nothing more to say. You close your eyes and for once, you let yourself be held. Not because you're weak, but because you're tired of being alone. And somehow, in the silence between you and him, you begin to believe that maybe, just maybe, you don't have to be anymore. You hear the click of a door, and your body tightens instinctively. Then footsteps, confident, rhythmic, deliberately loud, announce the entrance of someone unfamiliar. She enters like she owns the room. Arms wide open, a dazzling smile stretched across her face. She strides toward you with floral printed skirts swaying and a curious glint in her eye. She looks nothing like a threat, yet your skin crawls. Something about her presence feels too direct, too certain. Before you can even react, Caleb is already in front of you, both arms raised protectively. Belinda, I think you're scaring her, he mutters, his tone polite but firm, palms out like he's bracing for impact. Belinda halts but doesn't step back. She's tall, curvy, her long gray hair twisted into a bun, a silver hoop in her nose glinting with each movement. She tilts her head, puzzled. I won't hurt her. You don't believe that, not because she's lying, but because even kindness feels sharp when you're this fragile. Caleb tries again. I know, but have you met Alpha Vale yet? At that, Belinda frowns. No. I came straight here. I felt her. You flinch? Felt you? That word hangs in the air like smoke. Caleb narrows his eyes. What do you mean, felt her? Belinda waves him off. You wouldn't understand. And then without warning she reaches out. Her hand comes toward you, steady, insistent. You freeze. Your heart rockets into your throat. You don't want her to touch you. You don't even want her to see you. But she's still reaching. Caleb's arm snaps up again, stopping her inches away. You're his friend, and you want to speak out. You're not a plaything to be examined, nor a prize to be won. But the words catch in your throat and never make it out. Belinda studies you, head tilted like you're a painting in the wrong frame. She's more sensitive than I thought. Caleb doesn't respond. He's too focused on making sure you aren't touched, too aware of what might happen if Vale walks in right now. She needs time, Caleb says finally. Belinda sighs. Fine. I'll wait. She leaves without another word, and only when the door shuts behind her do your knees begin to give. Caleb turns, his face etched with quiet worry. You okay? You nod, even though your body is still trembling, even though your heart hasn't stopped pounding since she looked at you. She's a witch, Caleb says. Old, powerful, but she's not bad. You nod again, but that word witch etches itself into your memory. You think of the way she said she felt you, the way your skin burned beneath her gaze. Vale appears minutes later, and Caleb gives him the rundown with careful precision. You don't meet his eyes. You don't want him to see how shaken you still are. But he does. He always does. Later, he holds you in silence, arms wrapped around you like armor. You don't need to explain. He already knows. His wolf is practically snarling at the memory of Belinda getting too close. You can feel it under his skin. She won't touch you again, he whispers, voice hard. You believe him, because when Vale makes a promise, the world listens. Still, Long after he's fallen asleep beside you, you lie awake, watching shadows dance across the ceiling, thinking of eyes that saw too much, and wondering what exactly it is that Belinda felt. Sleep pulls at the edges of your mind, but before it takes you, the room shifts again. Vale is still beside you, but something in his posture tightens. A soft knock echoes from the hallway. He rises reluctantly, pressing one last kiss to your temple. "Stay here," he says. "I'll handle it." You nod, though your heart tightens as the warmth of his body leaves yours. The moment he disappears behind the closing door, silence swells again, brief, tense, waiting. Then, without warning, it breaks. Another door opens. This time you know it's not him. You feel it in your bones before you even hear her voice. A presence that doesn't ask for permission. One that doesn't belong in this quiet, sacred space. You sit up just as she enters. You don't understand what she means, not at first. Your spine stiffens at the word. Angel. Caleb mutters something about reading more, but his voice feels distant. The air thickens around you, and Belinda's sharp gaze turns your way. Her silvering hair a signal of something ancient, something sacred. She peers at you, not with hostility anymore, but confusion like she's looking at a puzzle half solved. You slip closer to Caleb, keeping him between you and her, but you feel the shift. The moment has cracked open. Something buried is trying to crawl free. Belinda squats, her round face now level with yours, and you can feel her breath disturb the space between you. You don't know what you are, do you? What are you? Before your mind can wrap around that, the door opens. His presence floods the room like thunder behind velvet curtains. Vale. His brow furrows the second his eyes find yours, and you move without thinking, without planning. You run. Belinda screams behind you, but her voice barely reaches past the thundering in your chest. You throw yourself into his arms and brace for rejection, coldness, confusion, disgust. But it never comes. His warmth wraps around you like armor, and you sink into it, trembling. His hand strokes your hair, grounding you. What is it, my love? My love. You feel Belinda's shock before you see it. Her mouth has fallen open, and even Caleb stands blinking, as if Vale has uttered the impossible. The alpha who rules over beasts like a storm over a forest, holding you as if you were breakable porcelain laced with gold. Belinda's voice is a whisper now, jagged with disbelief. They're together? Caleb grins, and there's pride in his voice. Not just together, they're mates. But the woman recoils as if struck. That's not possible. The moon goddess cursed him to live without a mate. You don't look at her? You can't. Not when the weight of those words coils around your ribs like vines, she says, cursed. He calls you mine. You feel like a contradiction that shouldn't exist. The conversation shatters again as Raphael steps forward, his voice low. An angel? Vale's arm tightens around you. Let's talk in my study. His voice is steel now, alpha steel. Then he turns to you again, softening. My love, wait for me in the bedroom? You shake your head before you even realize it.